We're here, we're back, and we're going to talk about books. I haven't used this mic in a while, so I'm really hoping the sound is clear and crisp, and you can hear everything that I'm saying, and there's no static. So let's just hope for the best. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about books, and I think you got the hint of that by reading the title and seeing the thumbnail, but here we are, me over explaining things. You know how it is. We are currently in April break. So by the time you see this, April break will be over. I'll be back in the classrooms, back with the kids, and doing my job. And we're going to be in a sprint. So April break is going really well, just relaxing, learning to slow down, which is a rare thing during the school year. So learning to slow down, relax, get my nervous system back in order, and just getting my stress levels down, my cortisol level down, all that fun things. It has been great. I've been getting solid 8 hours sleep. And if I don't get 8 hours sleep, I usually just stay in bed for an extra hour. I'm still waking up at like 6, but I try to go back to bed to wake up around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I cannot complain. I've been working out still every single day because I'm still doing 75 hard. I think today is day like 38 or something like that. So that's still going strong, still doing that. And today I finished making a blanket. I I will try to remember her account name, but I follow this woman on Instagram and she sells tutorials. And it was on Etsy and it was like super cheap tutorial. So I bought it. It was about $15 when I got it. And then a few weeks ago, I knew I was going to do this. So a few weeks ago, I purchased some of this yarn from Joann's because sadly they're closing. And I just had it and I was like, okay, this is the perfect week for it. So I actually just finished it today. It's not that big, but it's just enough to like cover your legs and feet when you're just sitting down. It's really soft. Like, I'm really proud of myself. It's such a simple, easy craft to do, and that's what was one of my goals for April break, was to create something and just be crafty. I'm going to be working out all the time. I know I was going to be reading, relaxing, chilling, whatever it was, but I also wanted to do something crafty and accomplish something, and I'm just happy I did. So yeah, here it is. I love the colors. You can tell like I didn't do such a great job. Like, look at all the holes and gaps, but first time for everything, and it worked out well in my favor. So that's kind of like what April break is. And we're going to get to the end of April, but let's talk about like, what are we doing for Q2? And so for Q1, it was definitely rough. I talked about that in another video. Just couldn't find a rhythm. And it was really tough because I was reading Poppy War, which was such a great book. But for some reason, I just couldn't get into it. And it had nothing to do with the book because I still rated that book pretty high. It just had everything to do with just current life situation. And escaping into books just wasn't doing it for me. So that was kind of a bummer. So then what I decided to do was I decided to tandem read Poppy War. I used my last credit before I canceled my Audible. I used my last credit to actually purchase Poppy War on Audible, and I actually was able to find one where all 3 books were included in it, which was great. I was like, okay, that's perfect. Like, that is worth 1 credit. So I did that, and then I canceled my Audible from there. So I will probably finish the entire trilogy using Audible only. I don't know if it was because I wasn't into the fantasy world anymore. Who knows? I don't know. But essentially, that kind of like started my rut. And so we're getting into the start of Q2, and it's slow start for sure. I read a few books to start my 75 hard. So of course, like, that was fine and that was kind of easy. And then now I'm just like slowly getting into the next few books. So the next book that I'm reading currently right now is called Let Them by Mel Robbins. I started off not really liking it much, very much like a self-help book. But now I think a lot of the messaging towards like the middle of the book, I think I'm 70% in, is very relatable to my current life and what I'm going through, like relationships, friendships, life in your 30s, separation of friends, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. So I think right now is very relevant. So I'm really taking in that knowledge. And then I'm also reading, I took notes so I wouldn't forget. I'm also reading The Grump's Guide to Chaos. I didn't realize that this book is kind of like a holiday romance book. It is set at a time where it's like winter, Christmas, cold, and right now we are in the middle of spring. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful week. So that kind of threw me off. Also, the main female character, I'm not a big fan of. I just think she can be kind of manipulative, very condescending to the main male character, and just trying to be sassy and cute and sexy, and it just comes off to me wrong. Um, but I will finish it. I don't think it's a DNF type of book because I really appreciate the male main character. He's just like fighting with his grumpiness. Like he wants to be like all in lovey dovey, but he kind of can't because like his own trauma is getting in the way. So I really appreciate his storyline and everything that he's going through, his backstory, the trauma that him and his brothers went through. Like that is captivating me. The main female character, like I could care less that you just quit your big time job and went to move to a small town and starting a Pilates shop. Kudos for you. Like I just feel like it's so Hallmark movie-esque, her storyline, but I really love the male character one. So I'm gonna keep reading. Hopefully I will be done with both of these books by the end of this week, and then just kind of like slowly get into my next few reads. Let's see what else. Right now I'm actually listening to Funny Story by Emily Henry. I have the physical book, so most likely I'll listen to it more than I'll actually read the physical book. That is just something that has been happening more this season for me, is audiobooks have just been like just the case for me. It's just been hard to like find time to sit and read, especially with the school year, the spring season starting for my job. That's just, it's a lot of hours outside of home as opposed to like being at home. So like, the idea of sitting with a physical book is different for me. Like I don't know why it felt foreign when I like cracked the book earlier this week. So we are reading those two books, hoping to finish by the end of the week. And so right now, what I'm trying to do is figure out like, okay, what books are next? So the goal from my last video was I was talking about how I did like a whole purchase ban thing. So I decided like, we're not buying any more books. Like we have plenty of books here in my lovely apartment that I have not read yet. And I'm also on a financial freedom journey too. So that plays into what I purchase and buy. And that unfortunately is books. As much as I love them, like I have to be smart about my finances. So with that, all my TBRs are based off of the books that I have here. If I can get them on Kindle Unlimited, I will get them on Kindle Unlimited. If I can get them, I can't get them on Audible because I won't have them. And so if I can get them on Libby, great. And then I need to actually finish creating the account, but I have Hoopla now. So that's another version of Libby. So if that is also going to be a great service to use, that's going to be another option for me. So I'm really trying to use all of my resources and my current bookshelf to kind of continue being in this reading world of mine. And I'm really happy about it because I've saved so much money by not purchasing. So we're like, it's April 24th. I haven't purchased a book since the last week of January. And that makes me really happy. So it's going to be about like 3 months of no purchasing of books. So kudos about that. I'm really happy. So with that being said, did I bring it? Okay, so I decided to create a like random oh no, it's lost. Ah, that's so sad. Okay, I'm gonna pause this video to create a generator, or I'll just show you what I'm doing. But basically, I'm gonna create a generator for 10 books that I want to read for the end of Q2. And essentially, it's gonna be about 10 books in total, and the generator is just gonna help me pick the order. So I'm not like indecisive and decide like, I'm just not gonna read. So I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna create it again, and that was actually quicker than I thought because the site actually kept everything. So let's see what we have here. So it kind of just looks like this. I use a generator for school. This is the way I kind of do my presentation list. So when students have to do a presentation, I just put their names in a wheel, and then I just pick from there. Sometimes I use a different type of generator if we have to do groups, things like that, and the generator automatically puts them into groups. Generators are great if you are a teacher or you are a professor or whatever, and you have like small, oh, you see the sun? Wow. Glorious. Okay. I just had to do that because that was amazing. I'm going to go outside soon anyways for my 45-minute walk. But that felt real good. I might go to Salem Willows because the water is just so nice. Just to be by the water. So I might have to put like layers on, but that's okay. Okay. Back to what we're talking about, books. So I have my books here. So the books are Cuxtall Academy, Real, Metal Slinger, Deep End, The Neighbor Favor, 7 Days in June, The Favorites, Spark of the Everflames, One Dark Window, The Co-op. So those are the 10 books. 5 of them are on Kindle Unlimited, and I already have them on my Kindle, and the other 5 are physical books I currently have. So these are the physical books. I have The Neighbor Favor physical, 7 Days in June, I have Deep End, Spark of the Everflames, and The Favorites. So those are all my physical books that I have, which like I love, and they're probably gonna. These books, I feel like if I'm gonna love them, they're gonna stay. I probably won't donate these. And then the other 5 that I mentioned are on my Kindle through Kindle Unlimited, which is a service I did decide to stick with because for me, I do use my Kindle Unlimited a lot. So the 14, whatever, maybe 15 now that I spend monthly is worth it. So people might be like, well, that's not a book buying ban. It's a subscription. I'm not buying, yes, I'm buying a subscription to purchase like multiple books at a time. But for me, that was something I was willing to keep as opposed to like when I was buying books, I was dropping money and I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, and that was a lot. So the $14 for Kindle Unlimited was like, for me, I was like, girl math, that's free. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick our first 2 books. So I'm starting off slow because I know that it's going to be very difficult for me to get like a lot of reading in. So I don't think I'm going to read 5 books in the next few weeks. I think 2 is more realistic for me, especially because I have to read a nonfiction book for 75 hard. So I want to make sure I have space for that. So that's going to be like 3 books in total by the end of May. And then hopefully I can add more. When we get to June, my workload will like slowly diminish, which is great. It's just like a good way of knowing that like the school year is about to end. And I just feel like I'll have more afternoon time to like actually read and sit and not be bogged down by things. So let's tap and spin, because that's what we're going to do, and figure out what we're going to read. Okay, it's tapping. Okay, I was like shaking to see if that would fix it. Nope. Okay, so the first one is a physical book, which is great because I started reading like the first the first few pages and stopped. But it is Spark of the Everflames, which is great. So that's gonna be book 1 that we're gonna start. And the thing about this generator that like I enjoy and I like, and maybe other generators do it too, who knows, I don't know, but afterwards you can decide to keep that the name or whatever within the generator or remove it. So I usually remove it because you don't want to choose it again. So I remove it, and we're gonna pick. I really hope I get more Kindle Unlimited books. All right, we have Cuxtall Academy is the next one. It's good. Some of these books that are chosen now, aka the 2, have been on my TBR forever. So I removed that. So that's the 2 books. So we're going to start with that. We're going to start with Cuxtall Academy, Spark of the Everflames. I just hope I'm not too fantasy driven down. Like I just don't want to be like all fantasy and not have anything else. So I think the nonfiction, oh my goodness, this one just feels so good. I just hope that the book that I decide to read for 75 hard will be a book that like actually helps me have a more like robust, or like I guess more, what's the word I'm looking for, well-rounded type of just book choices. I feel like for me, maybe that's what I was feeling when I was reading Poppy Wars, was that I was just reading fantasy. I may have been reading some fan fiction too, so it was just all fantasy and it was just a lot for me. That's what I'm thinking, but maybe it was just life. So we are just going to hope that for this time, maybe having 2 books will just help me settle. Just for the sake of it, we're just gonna add a 3rd book in case that like, hey, let's add it. Let's add it, and then we're gonna write it down because homegirl is gonna forget. Okay, so let's just add what the next few books are gonna look like, and they're not gonna be books I'm reading like right away. But so we have Spark of the Everflame, we have Cuxtall Academy. Okay, let's read what's next. The Co-op, and that the Co-op is gonna be on Kindle Unlimited. Then The Favorites, which is a physical copy that I have. And yeah, let's just do the rest of them because I think that would be great. Like that's my TBR until the month end of June. And so we're going to just lay it out for us. The Neighbor Favor, and that's my physical copy, coming down to the wire. 7 days in June. So 3 in a row of physical copies. So that's going to be interesting how I feel about that. But maybe that's great that I have that. I'm just hoping for another Kindle Unlimited because I do love my Kindle. Okay, I'm really jinxing myself. Deep End, and that's another physical copy. Okay. We have 3 more. Oh, I didn't realize I kept the co-op in here. But that's fine. It's not choosing it. One Dark Window. So that is on Kindle Unlimited. And I have that already. I think both of them are on Kindle Unlimited, which is great. And then we have Metal Slinger. And the last one would be Real. And that's going to be till the end of June. I love that. And if it doesn't, like, let's just say June happens and I don't get through all of this, I don't care. It will be pushed to July, and that's great. And I think that is kind of like the mindset I'm currently having with all of this, is that I do not care about timelines. I do not care about trying to keep up with people. I have limited myself, even like going through Instagram, because I was just like, oh my goodness, look at a new book they have, all the books they have around them, and all the books they get to talk about, and I want to be part of that conversation. I just got over it because, one, it can't be my whole world. It can't be something that I want to like 100% be in. I just can't when there's other things happening in my life, and it is so okay that other people do. But of course, like, the people I see that we're trying to keep up with are people that do this for a living, and so they either get books for free, it's a partnership, and this is their livelihood, where that's not the case for me. And so I'm just trying to find that balance. And I think that's good for everyone who's trying to find that balance between like doing all these books, reading all these books, trying to talk about it, engage with it, and trying to show the world like, hey, look at me, I have these books. Nothing wrong with it. But there is a point where it can become too much. And that's where I found myself. Even though like I wasn't doing the most compared to other people, sounds so judgmental, but when I mean doing the most, meaning like posting all the time, buying new books, going to bookstores, going to openings, like those things are great. And it's so fun. It's such a great hobby. But if you don't have the right balance, it could be detrimental to you. So that's where we are. So that's kind of like what the end of April is going to look like for me. May and June, I'm going to be reading through these books. And then at the same time, hopefully I get to do just more crafty things. I would love to make myself like another blanket. I can probably do this in a day. I think this took me 2 days to do. And not like 2 full 48-hour days, meaning like a few hours yesterday, and then like I think I took like 2 hours today. And the video was like really well done. The woman who is doing it, I will post her stuff below. So yeah, it was great. So I'm hoping that like in May and June I get to do more of these things. And then of course I'm doing 75 Hard. That's gonna end. I'm thinking it's supposed to end around end of May. Like I think the week after Memorial Day weekend. And it's been great so far. Honestly, I've been loving just like not drinking and finding different drinks that I love and exploring those options, like seltzers or like different waters. Or I've been drinking a lot of tea currently right now, finishing up my tea. And so it's been a great journey. And then even like going for walks outside have been just nice. And that's what I'm about to do now. I'm about to go out and just go for a nice little walk, listen to an audiobook. So yeah, we're going to do that, and it's going to be great. So yeah, until next time, we're going to talk soon, probably in a month. That's the game plan. Bye.